What's up, peeps? Julian Williams here at the distance. Got a video for you guys. This one on Paul Williams. Paul Williams likely paralyzed after a motorcycle accident. The news that just came out on Twitter. I looked on Fight Fan 1982's Twitter, and he had mentioned it. And then I looked through, the news, and there was able to see that Paul Williams was paralyzed, was likely paralyzed from a motorcycle accident. Pretty much, it's one of those things to where you know, as a fan of boxing, you know, I when I hear about things like that, there's a lot of fighters I just don't want to see in the ring again. And Paul's a fighter that I like is a fighter that I like to see fight. He always comes to fight. He's always throwing punches. He's always working from bell to bell. You know, always active. You definitely have to respect his fighting spirit. He always comes to fight. He's and things of that nature. But just overall, man, I hate making videos like these because it's one of those things where I can't just come up with a script on what to say. I never have a script, but in situations such as these, there's never a right thing or a wrong thing to say. I just hope that the man's okay. I hope that he's okay. That he's a talented boxer. He just got himself, signed into a huge fight last week, against Canelo Alvarez. It's probably going to be one of his last paydays, but also if it wasn't his last payday, and it was a winnable fight for him as well, very winnable. That was going to be, stepping stone, kind of a measuring stick to see where his career goes, after that fight. He got himself in a fight with, one of the biggest up and coming stars in boxing. It's a shame that more than likely he'll be unable to, get himself in this fight. It's a damn shame, but just overall, man, just hope that he's okay. To be honest with you, even if he is paralyzed, then it's better than him being dead. You know. So anyway, peeps, keep your fingers crossed, and not necessarily fingers crossed that he gets back in the ring, but fingers crossed that he's okay and he's still alive. That's just pretty much the main objective here, is to hope the man's still alive and hope the man has a strong recovery afterward. So anyway, peeps, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.